of course, the joy of singing has to be is important.
I'm very curious about one thing. You talk about watching someone one time that the musicality kind of on the top of the technique. And because I refer it to many singers in Indonesia that haven't get a chance yet to study abroad. And that's actually kind of the case. And I wondered, how can we actually improve it? Me, myself, Daisy and Dea, we also go back and forth to Indonesia to help young singers, much more younger, of course, to develop this situation. But what is your opinion in that perspective? How can we help them? What do they have to prepare?
In order to get the balance between,
right. Yeah. Because the situation is, when we come, we know we are not well prepared as from the technique perspective, but we studied a lot, but it's difficult still to catch up.
Yeah, well, let's say if you teach really young, let's say you teach a baritone or a tenor or a soprano and from 18 or 17.
Right.
Of course, the joy of singing has to be is important, because it can be that when you work so much technique that people get the kind of how do you say, they disconnect. On the other hand, if we want to do the job really well, it's we have to train it.
Right.
For me, it was as Dea knows, I love sports. I love cycling, and I did in May I did with friends an amazing a big ride, much bigger than I ever did. So we trained for it.
Right.
And it was actually also a lesson, because sometimes with singing you don't feel yourself, like you practice all the time and you don't feel your development. But then I thought, no, it's exactly the same as when you ride on a bike. You want to become better, you have to just do it as much as possible.
Train it well
and have a plan. Have a plan. So know exactly. So if you teach, for example, it's good to show the student, what are you working on?
Right.
What are you developing?
Yeah.
So if you do an exercise, it might help to know why are you doing it.
Right. Find a best motivation for it.
I must say, Dea was a good student in that, because she was stubborn and curious.
But first, stubborn.
Curious and stubborn. No, so I saw in Dea's eyes sometimes, like, okay, what are we doing? So then I felt, the need. Okay, then let's explain what's my goal. Where do I think we go? Right. And in that, when you do that, I think kids or young students you bring them on the track, instead of thinking, oh, this is difficult and I want to make music. And and honestly, I still have sometimes, when I go after summer and after Corona, I had quite a bit, I made a kind of summer course for myself. So I had quite a few lessons in a very short time, working on on getting techniques working solid again.
Wow, great.
And then also I think, but when I sing it like this, it's boring.
Right. So being
so then you record, and then if you work with musical people, seldom it becomes boring.
Yeah.
And if you do it like that in the lesson, and if you have musical, as you said, they are like people who want to, they do that anyway. Mm-hmm. But then the basics are solid.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the answer to your question. Like take the people on your way, and also when you don't know, we have to be clear about it too.
Right. the curiosity and the persistence of going forward. Yeah. Great.
That's what I learned from my teacher, that singing is a lifetime searching and exploring, and it doesn't end, and that's sometimes difficult, but on the other hand, it's why we all want to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Great. Thank you very much, Henk. It's been great for me. Maybe Dea, you want to continue for the closing?
It's
I
great for
have
me.
one last question, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
No. Before you ask, it's great for me too, because I have to rethink what I'm actually saying and what I'm doing, and it's as I said at the beginning, it's as inspiring for me as for anyone. Probably.
So, what do you say for young singers to cope with their nervous?
Yeah,
when
that's.
They have to deliver their emotion, story, and singing, and this nervous system doesn't work.
Yeah,
on
well,
the stage.
yeah, there are, of course, one artist is more nervous than the other. I have a few colleagues and friends. They're fantastic artists, but you don't want to see them before going on stage. I think one thing which does help is being prepared and know what you do. So if you know what is the story, what you're going to tell, and also when you are vocally really prepared, you're less nervous. And on the other hand, it's just doing it as much as possible, especially when you're young, because I think any singer, maybe any musician, when you don't do it, you start doubting. I had a fantastic holiday doing nothing about having my books, and it was 3 weeks, which was quite long. And of course, the last week, I think, do I ever get back on? Because you're not doing it.
Yeah.
And once you start, your discipline and your routine, you get back to it. So I would say really grab any stage you can, even if it's just for your parents, your grandparents, or people on the street.
Wow.
So if you have students, I think it's important to organize like student nights or something. In the conservatory, it's normal, you do that.
Yeah.
But when you have a private class, for example, it's important. And when you really work with kids, I think it's rather touching too. When you see they don't want to go and they do it and they're proud and yeah.
Thank
So
you
being
very
prepared,
much.
being prepared and routine.
Yes. So I have one last very important question. Sorry. If you can say one sentence to young singers, what would you like to say?
What would I like to say or to sing?
Say.
Say. Okay.
Or sing is also.
Yeah.
Both of them is a good question.
Yeah. When I was, I quote someone, which is very simple. After my studies, I was allowed. I had a very nice prize, so I could work with whoever I want. And I had a session with Simon Kinleyside, who I was adoring as a, he's a. You don't know if he's a singer, artist, singer, because it's all good at the time. And he, in his emails, he always ended with, so best regards, happy singing. So yeah, remember yourself that you like singing and that you enjoy it, and yeah, sing, do it,
Wow.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And express, tell the story.
Yeah.
Happy singing.
Happy
It was
singing
a
is the
great
key.
one.
Yeah.
Especially difficult when you are already in it, when you study it, and then yeah, sometimes there are maybe sometimes that you forget that you are doing it because you like it, actually.
That is totally true. And I actually, in the whole Corona year, I was also thinking like, okay, I do this because I want it and I like it. And there will be lots of, if you really go into the profession, there will be absolutely moments that you regret you ever, well, maybe not that strong, but it's the world around it is often, you know, not loyal, not friendly, not overcritical, or there's lots of negative things to say. And I think in that moment you have to remember, exactly as you say, Thea, why do you do it in the first place? And I think any singer will come to a little source which gives them, you know, fire and energy.
Thank you very much again, Henk.
Thanks. Take care.
Yes, we wish you a good time and a great journey for your career.
And you too.
The same, vice versa.
Yep, and be in touch, huh?
Yes, we will.
Yes.
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Henk.
Thanks, Dea. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, see you.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Well, when they are mentioned about Henk, I said, well, we have to go after him.
Yeah.
So,
to get the men to come to Holland.
right.